welcome everybody. It has been a great week, not only for the Packers, but the greater Green Bay community, and actually really the entire state of Wisconsin. The Packers, as we've said, are not only excited about this, but we're also honored to be selected to host the 2025 draft right here in Green Bay and Wisconsin. And we greatly appreciate the work of so many people within the organization, but do want to give special mention to Gabrielle Dow, who has led the effort for us. It's been a long journey, and we'll talk a little bit about the time, but I think everybody has shown patience and persistence, and it's great to. There have been many times we thought we were close, and it's great to be here. And it was great to have the announcement officially come from the league on Monday. Our others, certainly a lot of people within the organization deserve credit, but particularly I want to recognize Megan Roberson, Candy Goltz. I know Candy is here. Aaron Popke. Aaron's been integral to this effort. Craig Schilbauer, Joan Malcheski, Julie Leung, Charlie Millerwise, and so many others. And we've got, it's actually a little less than 2 years before we'll be hosting this draft. It's a lot of work, and that team will certainly grow over the next 2 years. And I anticipate that everybody within the organization at some point is going to have some involvement in this effort. I also want to give special credit. I mean, this is something, and we've been literally working on since 2016. And our senior staff, our senior leadership team, Ed Policy has been integral to that effort. Paul Baniel. Paul will be retiring soon, and this will be part of his legacy that we were able to bring the draft in, announced under during his tenure here. Russ Ball, Craig Benzel. You're going to have to excuse me. I'm going to thank a lot of people here because it takes a village to bring a draft to Green Bay. But other members of the senior staff mentioned Craig Benzel, Nicole Ledvina, Jason Wallers, and obviously Gabrielle Dow is also a part of the senior staff. Packers Executive Committee has been very supportive of this, Executive Committee of our board, led by initially Tom Olson, did a great job for us, and now Susan Finko. I also do want to give special mention to Mark McMullen. I think a lot of you know what a obviously great person Mark was. Our longtime treasurer, member of our executive committee. He was integral in this effort, and it's really sad that he's not here to see this today. But Mark deserves an awful lot of credit for all the work that he put into making sure that this effort eventually became successful. We also want to thank the team at Discover Green Bay, led by Brad Toll. Their work with the hotels and other venues has been really invaluable, and there's going to continue to be an awful lot of work, and they really are going to be a key part of this process going forward over the next couple years. We're also appreciative of the local governments, local communities, particularly obviously Green Bay, Ashwaubenon and Brown County. It's great to see the representatives here today. They will all be integral in terms of putting on the event, from public safety to public works to many other pieces that are really needed to host an event of this size. We really would be remiss if I didn't also give thanks to the league office. Obviously, Commissioner Roger Goodell. Special mention, though, also to Peter O'Reilly, who within the league office, who oversees all the major events and kind of leads the league's major events committee, for having confidence in the Packers and in Green Bay to hold a first-class event. I know he's really excited. He's going to be spending a lot of time in Green Bay over the next 2 years, and looking forward to that. But really excited and appreciative of their support. Aaron mentioned the Stadium District Board. Obviously, we work closely with them. Really excited to bring concerts here and college football games, and this really takes it to another level. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. And obviously, at the state level, Both Governor Evers and members of the legislature have been very supportive of the effort to land the draft. We know that work is underway as we speak on the state budget, and we are hopeful that the state will partner with us on supporting this event. We also have state leaders. We hope and we know that they recognize the tremendous opportunity the draft presents to showcase not only Green Bay, but the entire state in a number of different ways. The state support will allow us to maximize the benefit of the event. I'd also like to thank our area representatives who are here today. David Steffen, I know he's here, and Senator Rob Coles. I don't know if Rob was able to make it, but both of them have been very supportive. We've been working on this for a number of years. Really, when the league first, I think most of you know, the league held the draft in New York City for like 40 years. It was Radio City Music Hall, and I don't know if it was Peter O'Reilly, but had the great idea, let's treat it like the Super Bowl. We'll move it around the league. And with a focus on communities that probably would never be able to host a Super Bowl, and had two years in a row in Chicago. And that's really when we started the effort in about 2016. Really kind of looked at it and put a bid in to host a 2019 draft. And so you can see from 2016, we have been very persistent, and credit goes to so many different people within the organization. But Aaron Popke and Brad Toll believe it was in 2017 when they first attended a draft. You've been to many others since then to see exactly what it takes for a community to host a draft. So they've been really great. Since then, we have committed many more people as well as resources to build out our plan. The other thing I would mention, you think back to 2016, there was no title town, and that'll be integral to hosting the draft. There also was no Rush Expo, which is perfect for hosting a draft. And then Brad and I were talking earlier, the Visitors and Convention Bureau will be done and up and running. Is going to be spectacular. So those things are all part of what got us to a point now where we can say that we will host a draft and we'll be able to do an outstanding job with it. And there's many great things about Green Bay. I think one of the things we're really going to focus on and distinguishes us from all the other cities is our history and tradition and the connection between the city and the fans and our team. The draft is really, it's the biggest and the most popular NFL event outside of the football season, and brings fans together to celebrate their favorite teams, experience the newest players being selected, and then all helps build excitement for the season. What I've always said about the draft and the popularity and the growth of it is phenomenal over the last 10 to 15 years. To me, it brings together the very best of college football and the NFL. So college fans want to see where their favorite players are going. NFL fans want to see where the best players are coming, and it's really become a major media event. One of the things we're really excited about, we all know the passion that our fans have and how unique that is. I think that's going to really show the whole nation exactly how passionate our fans are. And we see it not only at Lambeau Field, but the way our fans travel. And I am anticipating the atmosphere for the draft in 2025 with our fans there, and fans from NFL teams and fans of NFL teams across the league. But it's really going to be exciting. And I know that they'll bring that energy, and that'll really make it a really special event. The event itself is expected to attract, we anticipate it'll attract almost 250,000 fans to Green Bay and the entire state of Wisconsin, and create an economic impact of over $94 million. To put that in perspective, one home Packer game is about $15 million, so it's more than 6 times the impact of of a normal home game. Of the 94 million, that's statewide. 20 million will be here in Green Bay. So you can see it's really going to benefit the entire state. On TV, more than 54 million people will be watching. So it's we say it's like a 2-year infomercial or commercial highlighting all the benefits of Green Bay and Wisconsin, and really, really excited about it. It's really it's a very rare opportunity for the state of Wisconsin to be on a world stage like this, and it's really, really excited to bring it forward. The business development opportunities around and during the draft will showcase the many opportunities we have for talent and business investment. We will obviously also highlight that we are the best place, #1 place in the United States to live, right here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And I've heard from a lot of people across the league that question that. And they obviously didn't take those votes in the winter. But we all know what a special place Green Bay is. All of us involved already feel we're building an experience that is bigger than ourselves. This is something that we're going to leave for this community. It'll be part of the legacy of the Packers organization and the Green Bay community. And it is an incredible once-in-a-generation opportunity that will create a lasting legacy for Wisconsin. It will be exciting, and it's an awful lot of work, as we've talked about. We have less than 2 years, but we're ready to get started, and really excited about the opportunity we have ahead of us. With that, I'll turn it back over to Aaron. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. We are all excited, as we mentioned. And next up, who is leading our effort in putting our team together and all the logistics that will come. She's got everything figured out already. So I was a little remiss when I said we don't know all the details yet. She knows. So we can ask her later. I'm just kidding. But Gabrielle Dow, Vice President of Marketing and Fan Engagement for the Packers. Gabrielle.
Good morning. Thank you for coming, and sorry I have a cold. It's been a crazy 2 weeks. Mark called me on May 9th to say, we got it, but we have to wait for the ownership to vote, and my life flashed before my eyes for the next 2 years. So that's where I think the cold came from. I will echo Mark's statements and say that we couldn't be more excited for the city of Green Bay and the state of Wisconsin. I want to share a little bit of the backstory of the draft and how we got here. And as Mark said, from about 2016 to 2018, we lightly expressed our interest in hosting, but we really didn't get serious until 2019. In the spring of 2019, we reached out to Discover Green Bay, and we looped you in, and we met Brad Toll and his team in person, and along with Aaron Popke and Candy Goltz and Julie Leung at the time and myself, we formed our local organizing committee. Thus, the Packers, from what the NFL has told us, we are the first NFL team to drive the draft bid process with the league. So due to the small nature of our community and our city, Mark knew that we could help Brad and our local community and state get this here. So he was all on board. And then in January of 2020, we were ready to submit this bid for 22. However, the NFL told us that 22 was going to Vegas because COVID. So Vegas was supposed to host the draft in 2020 and then moved to 22 due to COVID. So then we submitted a bid for 24 and expressed our interest in 25. And the draft said, nope, 24 is going to Detroit and 25 is off the table. Okay, so we set our focus on 27. And then in January, we get a call from the league and said, nope, 25 is back on board. So we furiously called Brad, Beth, and Cameron and said, hey, revise those contracts. And they came to the table, and then with the addition of help from Megan Robertson and Aaron Popke and Candy, here we are today. So we couldn't be more grateful for your partnership and all your hard work behind the scenes. So thank you so much, Brad and team. Over the next 2 years, our local organizing committee will work to promote and showcase this great state of Wisconsin with the goal of getting fans across the United States and the world to come visit Wisconsin for our 2025 draft. Whether you visit Wisconsin because of the draft, or you're checking your bucket list off and visiting Lambeau Field, or you're turning the draft into a family vacation or even a business trip, together with our friends from various visitor centers across the state, and along with the Wisconsin Tourist Department, the Green Bay Packers, Discover Green Bay, and our friends over there with the Resch and Expo, Resch Expo and Resch Arena, we will together ensure that all are welcome to our great state, and that your time with us during the 2025 draft will be a lifetime memory. So now the work begins. The NFL will be here next month for their first site visit, and over the course of the next 2 years, we'll have many meetings with the NFL on how the event will be set up and where the main stage will be located. So everyone has an idea of where the main stage will be located. And I'm here to tell you that that is not our decision, that is the NFL's decision. So dream away, but we will really rely on the NFL. We do know, though, that the main stage and the NFL experience, the green room, media center, red carpet, and fan areas will all take place on what we're calling the Lambeau Field campus. And the Lambeau Field campus will include the Lambeau Field, Titletown, and the Resch Expo and Resch Arena. So that is our Lambeau Field campus, and that is where the 2025 draft will take place. We will be also working with the state, the county, the village, and the city to determine logistical details, from security to transportation to parking, to everything from the media and command centers and different logistics from getting in and out, and where the campus ends and begins. So we will definitely need help with the community on all of this, and especially with the staffing and volunteer opportunities that we're going to slowly unveil. So more to come on that. We have a rough budget, about $7.5 million. And the Packers and the Stadium District both have contributed funds, and we're hopeful that the state of Wisconsin will help support this once-in-a-lifetime event. Our next step is to put a host committee together of supporters and donors, and more information will be coming soon on that. And then we'll continually update information or anything that we find out regularly, and fans can find more information on packers.com/draft25. So in closing, we're very excited, and we can't wait to show the world what the state of Wisconsin and the city of Green Bay have to offer with the 2025 draft. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabrielle. And next up, as reference, Discover Green Bay's President CEO, Brad Toll. Brad, come on up.
Well, good morning. What a special day for Green Bay in this community. As has been referenced a few times, we've been at this for a while. In fact, Aaron and I were reminiscing when the NFL announced they were leaving Radio City. I was on the internet right away looking to see, and we did have internet when we started the process. But I was looking right away to see how many seats there were at Radio City, just about 6,000, how much meeting space they had. And I called Aaron and said, you know what, we could do that at Resch Center. It would fit in Green Bay. And he said, we're already kind of talking about that over here. It's like, well, let's go. So good things come to those that wait. It took us a bit, but we couldn't be prouder to have this event coming our direction. At Discover Green Bay, we bid on pieces of business every day. Seldom a day goes by that we're not after something. And this one by far is the largest event that we've ever been a part of, and really probably the largest event that'll ever come to Green Bay in our history. The only thing bigger is the Super Bowl, and we have a few structure challenges in the community, namely about 35,000 hotel rooms that we would need before we could tackle that one. So I have a feeling I'll be retired before we start talking about a Super Bowl. But a few thank yous that we would like to pass along. It's been mentioned, the partnership between Discover Green Bay and the Packers. Honestly, there's no way we could have attempted this bid without working with the Packers. Cleveland, Nashville, Kansas City, all of those bureaus like ours, organizations like ours, They have $20 million budgets and about 60 people on staff. We have 14 at Discover Green Bay. We are mighty, but there's only 14 of us, and without the Packers' commitment to this and the tremendous staff that they have here at Lambeau Field working for the team, it just would not have been something that would have ever become a reality here. I do want to thank the two people on my team that have been instrumental in putting this together, Beth Ulatowski and Cameron Teskey. The Packers, of course, committed Lambeau Field, Titletown, in this area early on. Our responsibility was to go out and get the other remaining venues that could be used for a draft, as well as make certain we had the hotel block in place. If you've ever seen, it's like a national holiday in Green Bay when the schedule comes out, because everyone's calling our hotels trying to get a hotel room. So if they said, hey, the draft is coming to Green Bay, and we would not have had that space reserved, yeah, it wouldn't have been good. So we have all of the space that the NFL needs all reserved already. So we're in good shape there, and Cameron and Beth did the lion's share of that work. Also, venues outside of the campus we worked on. If there's special events or things that they want to do, we want to be able to provide a variety of options for where that particular event could be. And then it was mentioned earlier, our friends from PMI Entertainment Group. Of course, that building in Complex, as well as their knowledge and support, is going to be critical moving forward. And actually, I know the county executive is here, and Mary, probably some of the county board members. You know, when we talked a few years back about what to do with the arena, in fact, I think that was about a 10-year conversation. Things take time. But we were talking about what to do with the old arena, and started to put together the idea for this expo hall. And we had ideas for logging Congress and some of those types of events for that building. But really, this was the crown jewel. We knew in order to attract an event of this magnitude, we needed a building like that. And as soon as we called PMI, they were reserving dates and putting the space aside for us. So we look forward, now the work starts. As Gabrielle forms committees, we'll all be on them. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you to the county board and the village and all those that were a part of making that building happen. I also want to thank our tourism partners throughout Wisconsin. Within the last 24 hours, I believe I've heard from every bureau head in the state of Wisconsin, as well as a number from outside of the state. They all provided letters that were a part of our bid and put their support out there, saying they would do all they could to help us elevate the draft within the state, and they've recommitted to that now that we have the draft coming. Also wanted to talk a little bit about, Mark mentioned the number of people coming, approximately 240 to 250,000 is what's expected. You never know for sure. In a $20 million impact here, we're often referred to as a drive market. We have a lot of people that drive into Green Bay from the Midwest. And, you know, given our budget size, we do a lot of marketing in the Midwest, which probably leads to us being a drive market. But that being said, looking at the Cleveland draft, a lot of people drove into Cleveland. So that bodes very well for us spreading the impact of this event all over the state of Wisconsin. As they come in, they'll be filling their cars with gas, having lunch at cafes and in restaurants throughout our state, and we fully expect fans will be staying overnight in cities throughout Wisconsin, including Milwaukee, Madison. So we talk about a $20 million impact here, a $94 million impact in Wisconsin. That is very, very true. It's not something we're just saying. That impact will spread everywhere. And that's a very exciting thing. The last thing I wanted to mention, I have had the opportunity, the privilege really, to attend a number of drafts over the years, a lot of them with Mr. Propke going, do we think we can do this? We knew that we could, but one of the really cool things about this event is when these guys are drafted into a team, you're literally seeing their life change in a moment. It's really a cool event. And the idea that we can bring that to our residents and people in Wisconsin can see that happen here, wow. It's a special day. Special day for Wisconsin. It will be a special week in Wisconsin when the draft is here. So thank you very much.